Romeo and Juliet, Act 4, Scene 1. All right, so Juliet is on her way to Friar Lawrence's cell to see what she needs to do. And on her way to Friar Lawrence's cell, guess who she runs into? Paris. And so Paris, why would Paris be there? Well, he's there to ask Friar Lawrence if he will marry him and Juliet. And Friar Lawrence has already married Juliet and Romeo. So Friar Lawrence is like, yeah, sure, why not? And then in the back of his head, he's like, oh crap, this is terrible. And so as Juliet's running into Friar Lawrence's cell, his office, Paris is like, oh, Juliet, hey. And then he goes, oh, my face, talking about her face. My face is stained with tears. And Juliet's like, ooh, he just like called my face his face. And Paris says to her, thy face is mine, and thou hast slandered it. And Juliet's response says, it may be so, for it is not mine own. And she's actually talking about how her face belongs to Romeo, but she doesn't come out and say it. And then she says, are you at leisure, Holy Father, now, or shall I come to you at evening mass? Like, Friar Lawrence, I need to talk to you about something, and it's real urgent. And so Friar Lawrence, says bye to Paris, and Juliet runs into Friar Lawrence's office, and she's so dramatic, y'all. Like, if you watch the movie, it doesn't matter if it's the 1968 film or the 1996 film, she's going to be so extra with her crying in either interpretation. She's just, oh, Friar Lawrence, oh, shut the door. I don't want to talk to anyone. Boo, boo. And so basically Juliet is like, oh, it's just everything's gone so wrong. What do I do? And so she's like, Friar Lawrence, I do not want to marry Paris. And again, she's like streaming in tears. And she actually picks up a dagger. And she says, if I have to marry Paris, I am going to kill myself. And if you don't give me something, Friar Lawrence, to help me, I am going to kill myself with this dagger. And Friar Lawrence is like, oh my gosh, you're crazy. Put the dagger down. If you're crazy enough, Juliet, to kill yourself and stab yourself with a dagger, then you'll be crazy enough to go with the plan that I have. Boom. And so what's the plan? Well, here's the plan, okay? It starts at line 89 in Act 4, Scene 1. And he talks about how what you're going to do is you're going to go home, Juliet, and you're going to consent to marry Paris. So you're going to say, Father, I agree to marry Paris. And then the night before your wedding, you're going to drink this potion. And he gives Juliet a potion because he was an apothecary, like a pharmacist. Okay, he worked with herbs. And you're going to drink this potion, and it's going to put you into a deep sleep. Okay, so deep that your veins are going to run cold and nobody's going to be able to feel a heartbeat. And, this would have been like, modern day anesthesia. Okay, this is what I think it's like. So she's going to drink this, and then when they come to wake you up on your wedding day, guess what? They're going to think you're dead. And Juliet's like, okay, yeah, I can do that. And then what's going to happen? Well, they're going to bury you in the Capulet Monument. So if you were of any like social stature, like lords and ladies, like Juliet's family, like Romeo's family, you had monuments, like tombs that you were buried in as a family. Like they had something called a bier, and so they would have been laid on top of it and put like a shroud, like a linen cloth over them. They just would have been laid on this big marble slab in a tomb. They wouldn't have been buried under the ground. So Friar Lawrence's idea here is, oh, Juliet, they'll put you in the Capulet tomb, and then before the potion wears off, I will come into the tomb, I will wake you up, and I will take you to Mantua so you can live happily ever after with Romeo. Everybody's going to think you're dead, though, but you'll get to be with Romeo. Juliet, she's like, let's do it. And this is like where she becomes childlike again, because towards the end of this scene, line 121, she says, oh, give me, give me. And every interpretation I've seen of this has her reaching out like this. Who else does this? Oh, give me. A child. A child does this. And so again, Julia is so naive. She wants this, and then she says, oh, tell me not to fear. She takes it, and then Friar Lawrence says, hold, get you gone, be strong and prosperous. And this resolved, I'll send a friar with speed to Mantua with my letters to thy lord. Juliet says, love, give me strength, and strength shall help afford. Farewell, dear father. And so they end this scene with Friar Lawrence saying, you know what? I'm going to let Romeo know what's going on. I'm going to write a letter. I'm going to send it with another friar, because they had, I'm going to send it with another priest. They had, like, instead of, like, mail trucks, they had, like, donkeys that priests would ride to deliver letters and wherever they needed to go. So Friar Lawrence is going to send a letter to Mantua to let Romeo know what's going on. And so that's the end of Act 4, Scene 1.